afternoon, another founder in car, and today we'll discuss, is it feasible that in this period you can get a salary rise? And my short answer, so this is the period that there's recession, almost 20% in the Netherlands compared to the year before, and I think it is feasible that you can get a rise out of your salaries just to maintain the cost, and also your employer normally has additional costs that he has to put onto its clients as well. But I do think that if you have not made substantial growth compared to the year before, you cannot demand that 20%. So it could very well be that instead of the 20% you will be sitting somewhere between 0 and 20%, so approximately 10% should be very feasible to attain. And also, of course, it depends on what you're wanting, what your needs are, and also how you like your job. Because, of course, you might put additional strain on your employer, because, of course, as mentioned, he can put additional costs on his clients because everything is more expensive. But sometimes to maintain his relationship with clients, he might also have to improvise and compromise, and that could also very well be the case for you. If you made substantial growth, then it could be, depending on the branch that you're in, even 30 to 40% rise, so about 20% depreciation of value because of recession, as I mentioned. But the other thing is that you also have your growth then, and if you are in a branch that really needs staff, this could be a chance for you. But of course, everything depends on the location of your expertise and also the situation where you are sitting. So I'm not saying no, I'm saying yes, but I think you should have a real plan and also a real study if this is the case in your specific situation. Hope this helps. Founder in car, out. Ciao! So another founder in car, and today we will discuss the best value for 3 branches and all new. One being best value for money in terms of space. Second will be best value for money in terms of hot hatch, and third will be the best value for money for real executive performance. So starting with the first, I think you will be best off with a Dacia Logan MCV for value for money. Dacia is a value brand, and with the Logan MCV you have a station wagon that does not weigh that much and is very economical to buy, maintain, and also the depreciation, if it's not a lot to begin with, is also leveled. So that would be made possible, I think, about 23,000 euros. You would be quite set on the baseline Logan from Dacia. This is all the Netherlands. I think for a hot hatch I would steer you towards Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid, the one I'm also driving, so go figure. So I put my money where my mouth is, also there. It would be about 27,000 euros. And that gives you access to a hot hatch which is almost full option, and that is also quite easily tunable with a lot of warranty as well if you don't go that route. So that's a real goal that I would want to direct you towards. And there are other hot hatches, for example a GTI, if you can get your hands on one, which is similar priced but doesn't have all the features, so all the specs, not is heavier, less powerful, is a 3-cylinder, doesn't have disc brakes all round, doesn't have real supportive bucket seats and all the other stuff. So that's it, done. Then the third one, if you want real executive performance, I would try to opt you towards Tesla Model S, long range, so that's 2 engines, and acceleration 0 to 100 of a McLaren F1 of the yesteryear. So it gives you an indication of very good performance and is about 90,000 euros, somewhat like that. And the benefit if you're an entrepreneur and you buy it on your company is that you also have only the normal cost and the B2B, as we say in the Netherlands, which is value added tax, which you can then get returned to you. So that's a big benefit, because in all the other cards that I mentioned, there's also a BPM, and that's a luxury tax, so that you are not able to get back from the taxing institute if you are an entrepreneur. So please also take that into consideration, and which would be in this case about 60,000 euros that you can get in return. And for all the other ones, the value added tax has a less percentage of the total price. So it's not completely gone, but it's less percentage. Hope this helps. Foundry car, out. So this is not a foundry car. This is entitled for entrepreneurs. So if you are an entrepreneur and you have 2 cars, both to your name, and there's this Netherlands situation, and you don't have someone else driving your cars because they also have their own car, or they have not passed the age. For example, my children are still teenagers, so not able to drive, to have a driving license, or having a driving license in this case. Then you are able to have only, as we call it, you have to pay additional tax for usage, for private use on one car, and this will be the most expensive one, which is quite a good thing to take into consideration, that you don't have to pay for both cars, and also reasonable, because you can only drive privately or business like one car at a time, and you cannot divide yourself into 2 beings. So that's a small tip that might be helpful for you. Hope it helps. Foundry car, out. It's not a foundry car, and today we will discuss my opinion on plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. So you have normally ICE-powered internal combustion engines, so regular diesel, gasoline, or natural gas-powered cars, something that you put fuel in or gas in, and it propels itself. And then you have electric cars that are going on electricity. Sometimes there is something else like hydrogen, but we do a bypass there. So a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle sits in between those two. So one side the ICE, on the other one the fully electric engine vehicles. And that plug-in hybrid electric vehicle has some benefits and drawbacks, which I will discuss. So some of the drawbacks could be that it's added complexities, because it has both electric powertrains and also that of a normal internal combustion engine. And because it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, also you need more battery, because you are able to put fuel into it, for example gasoline for the normal engine, but also you're able to put electricity into it with a cord for the electric engine. So they have a bigger battery than, for example, a normal hybrid, like a Prius, a regular Prius. Then I'm driving now also a hybrid, but this is a soft hybrid system. It's 48 volt. They call it a mild hybrid. So this is still dominated by the internal combustion engine, and the hybridization and electric engine is only there to support it. It's not so much a standalone electricity propulsion system, which is the case with a normal hybrid, like for example Prius. Okay. So added complexity and also added weight, which will result that you have a lower cornering speed and a more sluggish feel going to a corner. Not so much the acceleration, because in the acceleration also the electric engine will help you, and that gives you instant torque. So that's not a big deal. It might be, especially if you want to use this on a track, that your brakes will fade hard, because they have to stop so much more weight all the time. So those are the drawbacks. The benefits are that you have plenty. So one of the benefits is that you have the best of both worlds. You can still, for the longer run, use the gasoline propulsion, so you have fast charging. You can just put new fuel into it and go again for 600 kilometers or something like that. And also for the short bursts you have the electric engine. Also in winter time, if you have to do a short trip, you won't have to warm up the internal combustion engine because you can do it all with the electric engine. And there's also the big benefit that you have the characteristics of the higher RPM, the top end that a gasoline powered engine for example has, and the low end grunt of an electric engine, both combined. And oftentimes there are also tax advantages. So for example in the Netherlands you have additional weight, so the road tax is higher than a regular internal combustion engine, but then they halve it because you are a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, which is good, and still below the line you have a good gain to be had. Other advantages that you have very good fuel consumption on average, and also your brakes will in regular driving suffer not so much. So I mentioned in track driving they will suffer a lot more because this is really straining the brakes and you have to close the speed differences all the time on the track. But in regular driving, if you just release accelerator, you don't have to brake because you can brake on the electric engine and then put additional electricity into your batteries, which would otherwise be wasted. So a big gain to be made. And there are other benefits. If you oftentimes, because for example my wife has a BMW 330e and it has comparable performance and a 330i, so that's a normal gasoline powered engine, and they have also a similar engine, but it's a little bit detuned in the E, so the plug-in hybrid, just to make the gap not too big. But if you go for a tune, you can stop this detune and also have the gains. Whereas with the 330i, so the normal ICE engine, you don't have that additional gains. You just get the gains from the tune, not from the restriction, because there was no restriction to begin with. So this can also be a benefit there, that oftentimes in this plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, especially with the turbocharged, the ICE engines in there, they are detuned because the electric engine offers quite a good performance on itself, so they don't have to strain it that much, and that is a good thing if you like tuning cars. Another thing to consider is that sometimes you have benefits that you could park where you could not park with your ICE engine, because you can also use the spots that have a charging point, so are there for electric engines, with electrically powered vehicles, which your vehicle could also classify as. You're not completely dependent on that, but you could of course make a case why you could also park there. So just to give you some insights, hope this helps. Determine for yourself. If you're going for a car that's also on track days, I would try to steer you away from a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. If you want a car that's very practical and can be used on the roads, in normal traffic, this might be a very good performance benefit. And the biggest gain could be made because of especially in the Netherlands, you have the luxury taxes which are dependent on the fuel consumption, and because the electrification will dramatically decrease fuel consumption, at least on paper, you can have a lot less luxury tax, and that could give you a performance bargain compared to the non-electrified cars that have similar performance. So please also keep that in mind if you're looking into this. Have a great day. Founder in Car out. So another founder in car, more of the entrepreneurial side. If you're teaching young ones or those that want to transfer from their normal job or their school into an entrepreneurial role, it's very important that you inspire people. So oftentimes also in your business you're looking at key performance indicators, KPIs as they call them. But a key performance indicator also for your staff or for those that you want to inspire by teaching them something, keep them inspired. give them the bigger story, show them why you do all those efforts. And by doing so, you will increase the quality of what you can offer both to your clients, but also to your employees, those that you teach, your students, and also your friends. Keep the inspiration there. Inspiration will get you through a lot of things. It's the same attitude. If you have a certain attitude or you have built character, this will get you through the heavy stuff. And in all kinds of business you will have downfalls. You will have tremendous efforts that you need to take to get on top of this. And then if you have the inspiration, you are inspired, you will go through it. It's the same route that you have to take, but it will feel so much lighter and you will have so much more chance of reaching that state, and that's key. So instead of key performance indicators, keep people inspired. Hope this helped. Founder in Car, out. So another Founder in Car. Today we will discuss, I'm driving Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid ZC33S, but what is the best Suzuki on sale in the Netherlands at this time? So this could also be the same situation for you. And the top contenders would be the RAV4 clone, that's more of a Toyota. They also have a Corolla wagon type of clone, that's also more of a Toyota rebadge. So I'm not going into that. I will stick to the pure Suzukis. And then you have the Ignis at the bottom. Then you have the Swift, the one that I'm driving, and the Vitara. And then also the S Cross, but that's in a new setting at this moment. So I will stick to the Vitara, which is also offering a lot more room than the S Cross and has similar engines as top level than the Suzuki Swift Sport, not the Suzuki Swift at Ignis. It depends on the budget. If you want to have a very special individual type of car that also looks very special, I would say go with the Ignis. It's a bottom line, it's not that expensive, it's very light, it has a roof rack standard on the car. You can also get it with 4-wheel drive if that's something that you want. You can get it as an automatic, you can get it as a manual, and it doesn't have a turbocharged engine, but it is feisty enough for naturally aspirated with a mild hybrid system. So also quite frugal, light. If you want something more sporty, then I would opt you towards the Swift. It could be the regular 1.2 that has a similar engine as found in the Ignis, and is also a little bit lighter than the Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid. But if you can spare the dough, spare the money, I would say go with the Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid. It's full options, so you get a lot of specs there for your money. It also has a turbocharged engine, which will really respond if you want to put additional money in to further optimize the performance with an engine tune, for example. This could be very beneficial to you. And it has disc brakes all around. It's just a very good package, hard to beat. Also my hot hatch recommendation at this time. Best of all for your money, best bang for your buck. And if you want room, the Vitara is very, very nice. I think the Vitara offers extreme amount of room for a price that's still defendable. If you want more room, there are Dacias, for example, but they don't have the philosophy of Suzuki. So Suzuki will have the philosophy of bringing you a very rigid chassis at a very light way, lightweight body, and they offer turbocharged engines. Also, all the models that I mentioned offer you 4-cylinder displacement, which makes it quite unique. And that's the reason why I think we should all cherish Suzuki, because they are doing something that a lot of other manufacturers are not doing, including the bigger Japanese ones like Toyota. Also, for example, the Yaris, which is comparable to the Swift, and also the new Aygo X, which is a little bit more comparable to the Ignis. They offer 3-cylinder engines instead of 4-cylinder. So this is something, if you really like that, and I do, please look into Suzuki. And they offer something that's very lightweight, very effective, very frugal in practice instead of just on paper and theory. And I think we should really cherish Suzuki. And also they offer a very good warranty, often 5 to 6 years, which is perfect. Hope this helps. Foundering car. Oh, before I stop, also the Vitara is offered with the 1.4 turbo liter engine you will find in the Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid, and it can also be gotten with all-wheel drive or just front-wheel drive, and will only add a little bit of additional weight. But if you want something in the terrain, this four-wheel drive option are very interesting. And even the Suzuki Swift, if you're not looking into the Swift Sport, you can get them regular Swifts also as a four-wheel drive system, a little bit like Subaru was in the past. Offer all their models also with four-wheel drive. Hope this helps. Foundry car out. So this is another Foundry car, and today we will discuss brands that have a really nice brand image, and I think Suzuki brings you something nice because they have their own philosophy of a lightweight body, very efficient, very stiff for the weight, so quite high-tech chassis, and offering you class-leading weight, so very light for each class, so being Ignis, Swift or Vitara. Then if you want to have something very good in the hybridization, Toyota also offers very nice cars. And those cars also nowadays are not boring anymore, because the new director says no more boring cars, which is a good thing. So you might love it or hate it, but I like what Toyota is doing. They have a brave new strategy, from the Aygo X to the Yaris. Yaris looking very sporty even in standard form. And also I like the Corolla wagon a lot, with the power hybrids that they now have. Very nice choice, and they are even offering a sports car now with the Supra, which is the sister of the BMW Z4. Another brand with a good brand identity, in my opinion, is Dacia. It offers cars that are simple, attainable, you get a lot of bang for your buck, which is good, and they are quite simple. I also really like what Hyundai is doing, also very brave type of expression. It's not homogeneous, so it could be that some models are very different than all the others in their lineup. For example, Ioniq 5 is really different than all the other Hyundais, in my opinion. Even very different to Ioniq 6, which is very close in the range. But those cars are very nice, in my opinion, but they are not, it's not complete brand identity. So there are some that are really new, and the other ones are more old school, but in general they have a nice identity because they are brave. If you want something that's more universal, I think also Citroën is offering very nice cars. They have their individual, they are a little bit different, a little bit crazy, and I really like their designs. They are different than the other cars, which I like. And saying that they are different, they are of course very close to Peugeot, and also now Opel, which is owned by the same consortium. But they have their nice own brand identity, which I really like. So those are the most important ones that I wanted to share with you. Hope this helps. Foundry car out. The car in front of me is a Honda CR6. That's the other manual transmission hybrid that's based on sportiness. So it's like the ancestor of the Suzuki Swift Sport hybrids. Also the hybridization is just more of a support. The difference are that CRZ from Honda is a naturally aspirated type of car. So it does not have the turbo grunt that you get from the Suzuki Swift Sport. It's also a 2+2. The Suzuki Swift Sport has 5 doors and also has 3 seating places at the back, where that has only 2, and those are only for children. The Suzuki Swift Sport you can sit also as an adult. This looks more sporty, but the Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid is more sporty. The CRZ, on the other hand, is more of a special looking type of car, so that could be your benefit as well. If you're looking for something like that, you will be on the good side of things. And it has some hints of the old CRX, was the second generation CRX. So the first generation CRX was a coupe of the Civic, and this is a very small, nice little nimble car, which I really like. I think Honda could do a better job if they would fit a stronger engine there, but they did not. So it was a little bit in between. I think if you have a car like a Suzuki Sport Hybrid, then the ZRZ cannot close that gap at all. So they are from a different era, but it was one of the first hybrids that was also focused on real sporty driving position, which I really applaud. There was also an earlier hybrid, even before the Prius. Honda made their inside, the first generation. So almost all people know the inside that looks a little bit like a Prius clone.
Sla na 500 meter af naar rechts. En volg de straat Mauritsweg.
Which is the second generation. It was based on the Honda Jazz. But I was referring to the first generation. A really lightweight, very sleek, aerodynamic car, which also had closed wheel
Sla
gaps
hieraf naar rechts.
at the
Verlaat
back.
daarna de rotonde bij de tweede afrit.
And which was very special, and that's also one of the ancestors, spiritual ancestors to the Honda CRZ that I just showed you. It was also a white car, it even had golden rims, very nice type of car. Hope this short history lesson helps. Have a great day. Found car out.